Hey guys, so we're here in our brand new caravan. Believe it or not, this is going to be our new caravan because we've come up with the ridiculously awesome idea that we're going to get our kids out of school for a little while and we're going to travel over the other side of the country in our boat. So we got back not too long ago from North Queensland and we've just been working hard, need to get away again. Yeah, basically the opportunities arose. We can get away for 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And we're going from Brisbane, towing our boat with the 200 series. Me, Says, and the kids.
Four
So
kids.
6 of us, 4 kids, 2 adults. Well, 5 kids, 1 adult. And we're heading over to Exmouth. So we're going to go to Exie through the middle of Queensland, up north, the usual route, all the way over through Cunners, Broome, and then down to Exmouth. And then we're going to allow 9 days
Yeah. Yeah.
to drive over there.
Everything going well, yeah.
9 days, so that's 8 days, pretty solid drive, and 1 rest day, which we'll do in Kununurra, and then we'll head over. This is by far our biggest trip, by far.
Oh, yeah. It's totally different to what we're used to.
And the kids have never done or experienced stuff like they're going to experience. Like they haven't even seen crocodiles in real life. It's 5,250 k's one way. Is that to Broome or Exmouth?
I can't remember.
It's a long bloody way. I know we're doing just there and back 12,000 kilometres. So it's a long way towing the boat with 4 kids, me and Says. So we're doing this, we're turning this into a caravan. So what we're going to do, I'll tell you a little bit about our plans. Alrighty, we're getting it quoted up now because we leave in 3.5 weeks. So, and we only made this up 3 days ago. So I'm turning this into a caravan. We're getting a couple of trimming mobs to give us some quotes on building in a storm cover over the back of the boat. It's going to run from the rocket launchers over the back of the bait board. Down the sides, we're going to have midgie mesh windows with a canvas that can go over them. And then we're going to have a zip that's going to fold over. That's going to be what keeps us out of the cold, the moisture, the dew, and rain. We shouldn't have much rain, hopefully.
Nothing like central Queensland in the middle of winter.
Yes, so our first 3 nights are going to be between 0 and 2 degrees. So we've got a couple of electric blankets and that's it. So this is our plan, alrighty. I'm going to get some rubber carpet and I'm going to put it over the whole floor of the boat, which I've got and I'm going to do now. And then I'm getting a table built here that we can put the big esky on. Me and Says are going to have a double self-inflating mattress. We steered away from a pump, what's it called? Airbed.
Airbed, yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to have, from Outback Equipment, they got so much cool gear. We got a roll-up mattress and then when we do roll it up, which we won't often, but it's 700 mil wide and 300 mil round, so it takes up no room. When it's expanded, it's a queen size bed and it's 100 mil thick, 2 meters long, 100 and whatever wide. That's going to lay out here on the floor. Then I'm getting an aluminium table with a bloody legend. Hendrik, his name is, but he likes to be called Gummy Bear, and we'll meet him later. So he's going to make us up an aluminium table that the esky's going to go on, and our bed will slide under that because that's going to allow a nice big access into here for our 2 youngest kids who are going to be sleeping up in the cabin for 5 weeks.
I reckon that's the pick of the spots, really.
So do I, because we're going to have we're going to do it up nicely in there for them.
They literally just have to walk out in the morning and that's it.
I know, done. Well, so do we. Because we're not going to be folding this up every day.
True.
So our big girls, we're getting, get this, Camp Boss have got out a new rooftop tent, Fusion X it's called. The Fusion is like a 4-man tent.
King size.
It's huge, 2 adults, 2 kids. So we're going to be the test dummies to see how big and comfortable these are because we are going remote camping over there where we will leave the boat. The 4 kids will sleep in the rooftop. Then we'll take a double swag. Me and Cez will crash in that. So the 2 big girls will be on the roof for 5 weeks, in and out of that Fusion X from Camp Boss. So I'm looking forward to going up and getting that. And then, so 2 in the rooftop, 2 in the cabin, me and Cez on the back. That's 6 of us sleeping. So we'll run through what we were going to do. I was thinking about a toy hauler.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about a toy hauler and I thought, I've got 3.5, 4 weeks to find a flatbed trailer, get someone to do some slides that I can winch the tinny up, get a thing over the top, but we could have maybe got a quad, but we didn't have the money to do that sort of stuff. So I was just wanting one just to pull the tinny up, build a rack with a rooftop that could go over. And then I was sitting up the top of the mezzanine there looking down, and I was like, we got a caravan right there, if we can enclose it. It's pretty comfortable. I think it'll be pretty comfortable to live out of.
Yeah.
We've got
sure.
a 100-litre fridge. We've got, between the trailer and the boat, we've got 150 litres of water. When we drive through the day, the solar pumps into these batteries, so we'll be full all the time. A storm cover, like, it's a no-brainer. Then we've got a big boat when we get to Exmouth to go offshore, out to the reef, so we could go out we're hoping to go looking at whale sharks, out to maybe the Mackerel Islands off Onslow. Who knows, if it was a 2-day glass out, Montebello's. Like, then once we get up to Broome, we've got our good mate Wuzza from Salty Sessions. We're teeing up with him. We're going to be putting this boat in at Siggy, so you got to get permission to where we put it in, and then we're going to be going over to
Signet Bay, that is.
Yeah, at Signet Bay, and then we're going to be going up to the Buccaneer Archipelagos for a few days, which is like my bucket list of all bucket lists, to take my own boat to the Buccaneer Archipelagos. Sarah's a bit nervous about that, but I was like, we're going.
Oh, only because we're taking kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's heaps of crocs up there, massive, massive tides, 12-metre tides on the spring tides. You can get stuck really easily. So I'll talk to Woods. He'll give us a heap of information and help us out as much as he can. But we're going to the Buccaneer Archipelagos. And then wherever else we can use our big boat. The kicker to this trip is Clint and Kirsten.
Yeah.
So our good mates up there at Agnes with LTD, you would have seen them on a number of our videos. I thought there's no way they would come. So I put it out there. Clint, being Clint, says, leave it with me. Calls back, 15 minutes later, we're in. So it's not just us, it's Clint and Kirsten and their 2 kids. He goes, I'm going to need to build a toy hauler. So within 24 hours or 48 hours, he had quotes on a toy hauler. He's found someone in Capalaba, and I'll go up there and I'll film a little bit of this because what they're building is awesome. So they're building a toy hauler for their 4.8 metre. They got a Sea Addicts tinny with a 140 Suzuki on the back. It's a little weapon. That's going to go up on top of the toy hauler. They've then got a quad and a dirt bike going on the toy hauler. Then they got a big frame that goes over the top, toolbox, rooftop tent. So the 2 kids will be in the rooftop on the toy hauler. Clint and Kirsten will be on the rooftop on the Chevy. They've got a Chevy, and it's a weapon. Like, their setup is going to be awesome. This ain't no cruising the basics.
No.
That one, is it? So look, this is it. We've got 3.5 weeks. I'm going to show you guys some of the things that I've come up with. Some of them you might think are awesome ideas. Some you might think are just stupid. So whatever. But I don't think too many people have really packed up 6 of yous and lived in a boat as a caravan for 6 weeks.
I think the main thing everyone is interested in too is what it's going to cost us to do it too.
Well, yeah, 100%.
Down to the carpet, to everything that we'll do.
Yeah, so
fuel, everything.
Says come up with the idea that we'll document all the pricing and let you know, because these days things are a lot more expensive. So we'll see what this is going to cost. I'm estimating, with just car fuel there and back, is over $6,000.
Yeah.
So that's going to be our most expensive part. We'll free camp when we can, but we're not going to we'll just pull up in a caravan site when we can with the boat, and then when we can also. Sarah's parents have travelled Australia for 20 years now. They know a heap of cool free camps. Alrighty, so they'll just point us in the right direction. What I think's awesome is plenty of caravans travel. If this pans out okay, and we can do it for 5 weeks, you can do it for that long or longer. And then you've got
so fast when you're doing it.
Then you've got a big boat to go and do whatever. Like when you go over to the Kimberley and Darwin and all that, there's so many cool
You've obviously got to
spots.
time it right.
Yeah,
You can't just hit the road willy-nilly in a boat.
But I mean, now, you're so limited when you have a tinny on your rooftop where you can go. And how many ridiculous spots are there off the Kimberley and down through the Pilbara?
Yeah.
Where people could go if they have
a big boat,
a big boat that they can comfortably use as a caravan.
We'll have the opposite. There'll be so many places that we can't go
that's what
in
I was
a
saying.
boat
Then is
without
you could
a
still,
little boat.
there's so many spots you can fish off the bank and catch barra
Yeah.
and stuff like that around there,
Yeah.
So that we're still going to chase Barra and all that. Clint's going to have his tinny, which will take turns and whatever. But like, honestly, stick with us for this series. This is going to be, I think it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool places. There'll be testing times. I'm trying to figure out how not to get my windows smashed on the drive over. There's just heaps of stuff. So in this video, that's what we're doing. We thought we'd give you a little run through of what we're doing, what you can be in for the next maybe 2 months, and then also some ideas what we're doing. Okay, and then yeah. So I hope you enjoy it. Let's rip into this carpet, literally, and fit it all through, and then we'll keep running through a few more mods, and then we'll go and have a look at this toy hauler, and you can grab ideas from everything.
Yeah.
Alrighty. You excited?
Let's do it.
On behalf of Outback Equipment and ourselves, we're giving away our tinny. It's a 4.35 metre wide body Quintrex Hornet, and you're going to win the whole shooting match. We got a 40 horsepower Merc with hydraulic jacking plate. We got a full flat floor, custom rod lockers. You're going to win a Minn Kota Turova 55 pound, 60 in electric motor, 12 inch Lowrance sounder, a full Revolution Power lithium setup. Guys, this thing is an absolute fishing weapon, and one of you lucky legends are going to win it. It's a no BS giveaway, guys. There's no purchasing merch. There's no membership sign-ups. All you got to do is head over to Outerline, purchase a $20 entry, and you're in. You can purchase as many entries as you like. Now, to put your odds in perspective, our last giveaway had 364 people enter. Tell me another giveaway worth over $14,000 where your odds are that good. Not only that, we're going to deliver it to your door. So if you've ever wanted to win your own boat, this is the giveaway you want to be in. Good luck, guys. We can't wait to call you and tell you that you've won.
Rightio, guys, let's rip in. First of all, we got this carpet off Marketplace for $100. Just normal carpet with the rubber back on it. It was well used, so we just needed to clean it off. Here's all my dimensions and stuff. It's ready to cut up. Alrighty. That one out of the way. I've cut this to go over the fridge area like that. I have a very bad habit of starting to get too fussy with stuff like this. I could either cut 2 bits out and cover this tiny bit at the end, or I can just leave it one little bit like that, and we just have to live with seeing the floor there. What would you do? Look at this, guys. I'm actually really liking this. It actually looks better in real life than what it does through the camera, but I've got now cut these bits up here and there. This, and this. It's going to annoy me. So I'm just going to maybe cut a little bit there, and if they flop around and all that sort of stuff, I'll just throw them. But I'm actually really liking having the carpet in here at the moment. Obviously, it's no good for fishing, but it's so comfy. Well, honestly, it's really good. So this is literally this is to protect the flooring, so when I come back, it's not destroyed, because $6,000 worth of flooring to do this whole boat. That's up on the front, back, transom, sides, like everything. $100 worth of this carpet is well worth the spend. If it works good, it'd be a cool idea for you guys. All right, we're done on the carpet. This is just to basically, I won't glue this down or anything, but I wouldn't be surprised if it actually stayed there. I've got some ideas with Velcro underneath, so I'll see if they work, but that's just to protect, because it's going to get so much foot traffic. So I've got another one here that'll Velcro down, and then look at this. In we go. Hey, how good's that? So I've even got it on each side, little cutout for the fridge, and the only bit I haven't got is just here, but I'm not worried about that. So that's it. It's the first thing we've done and completed is the carpet. Move on to the next thing. All right, second thing to do for prepping for this trip is, and probably one of the most important, is a rooftop tent for the 200. I'm up here at the Sunshine Coast, going into Camp Boss 4x4, because they've got this new one called the Fusion, and it is a 4-man tent. It can sleep 2 adults, 2 kids. We've had their Ultra X rooftop now for nearly a year, and it has been amazing. So we've given it a flogging too, actually, up through North Queensland, in the rain, in the dust, in the sun. It's been great. So let's have a look at this one. This thing's looks like a beast, and it's actually quite new. So pulling up now.
Alrighty, it was time to head up to Camp Boss HQ on the Sunshine Coast. Now, if you haven't been up to the Camp Boss headquarters and said g'day to the gang, you have to head up there and have a look at their showroom. You got swags, you got about 5 or 6 different types of rooftop tents. You got your awnings with all your side covers. They now have rooftop tents even to suit sedans. Plus the one that we've just got, the Fusion X, which is a king-size rooftop with a small footprint on your car. Can't wait to get this bad boy on.
Let the fun begin. I'm all on my lonesome here, so I've got to get this rooftop off. I'll use me U-Butte bloody crane that I installed, hey? Yeah, good. Slides along that rafter too, take about 2 tonne. Unfortunately, the crane can only take 500 kilos. This weighs 108, so we should be sweet, in theory. So I just want to get it off the roof. I want to have a look, unbox it. I want to measure it all out on the ground. I'm about 1 sling short of pulling this off perfectly. Yes, happy days. There's just this one that was killing me. Look what I had to do. Couple of knots. If I just had one more of these, it would have been perfect. The perks of having a couple of tools to use. All right, remember when I told you like a couple episodes ago, like when I get something in my head, it needs to be done like that night. I'm in that mood. I want to have this fitted up tonight. So we've paid another Uber driver to float us down some Rhino rack attachments, which I now think won't work because I spoke to the installer at Rhino Rack. So I'm going to jimmy some stuff up with what Jace gave me inside the rooftop. So I've put that down, the bracketry, everything's inside the rooftop. I'm just going to drill through, if I can measure correctly, drill through, slide the little things inside the bottom of the rooftop, drill through the Rhino rack, bolt it down on here inside. Then I'll use the crane to lower the rooftop and the Rhino rack down onto the backbone on the car. And hopefully it's perfect. So here we go. It's the next day. Me and Sarah were here till 9 o'clock last night. We got it 98% done. And then 2 bolts we had to go. And mate, we could not reach them. No matter what I did, I'll show you, we could not reach it. Like, I haven't had such a problem. And it's not the rooftop's fault. It's my fault and the way I did it. Like, now it looks good because it's like low and slim and it's bolted directly to the Rhino platform, instead of having the platform then cross members, then the rooftop, and it sits up, that much higher than what it already is. Now it's nice and as sleek as I can get it, but it was a nightmare getting it like that. Let me show you what I've had to do. All right, so I don't even know how they usually put rooftops on. When you've got a backbone, which is this part here with all the holes. So this is the backbone, this is the rack, the Rhino rack, this is the rooftop. You'll usually have runners that go that way, and then they will bolt to your thing, and then you can bolt it to the rack. These are backbones. It's better when it's like the 80 series and they're just a clamp here, and a clamp down there, because you can get your hands in and tools and you can get one of those Milwaukee 3/8 wrenches and and it's done. This way, I've had to get my hands under there. So we pulled the rack off, like I showed you last night. We attached the rooftop to the rack, which was easy, no problems at all. But then putting the rack back onto the backbone was a nightmare, man, an absolute nightmare. These things here, these things have been a nightmare for me. Okay, so you can see that runner that runs from here the whole way to the other side. So these have to slide up inside there. Then because you've got this much thread, what you do is you push it all the way up and then you twist it and they lock in. Then it pulls down on each side of this clamp here and the nut will do up on this toggle here, and then it'll tighten the backbone. So I didn't know that. I put all the roof rack on, everything. I put the front ones on, tightened them all because you can get your hands in there. I got to these ones. I realized the tabs on the backbone, you have to put these in first. So then I pulled the pulled the rooftop and everything back off again. Then I put these on, just a couple of threads in. You can see there, just a couple of threads. So you've got maximum area to push this up and turn it. So then I did the front ones up, no problems. But do you think you can get your hands or any sort of tool inside here to tighten this up? No. Tried everything. I even welded a 13mm ratchet socket onto a steel ruler and come from the back. Couldn't do it. This would just not turn. You really need to put this in with your fingers and turn it, and then it'll lock in. Then you can do it up. I must have done it 30 times each side, just flicking it with a spanner to try and get it to do it. It's taken me about 7 hours to do up 2 bolts. So then I just was like, you know what? Screw this. And I've just cut this out. I just cut each hole, and then my hand just went in, bang, 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 bang. Literally just done it up within 2 seconds, tightened it, and it's done. So look, if there's another way, if I've totally muffed this up, leave it in the comments. But that is the last time I installed a rooftop on a rack with a backbone. Like I said, the rooftop was easy to install. It took us half an hour to put it on the thing, tighten it up. It's this. So if you're doing that, there's another way. Like, we even got an Uber driver to pick this up from Rhino Racks and drop it off last minute last night because that was meant to work. And then I rang the guy, I said, this isn't gonna work. He's like, oh yeah, no, you've got to go inside the rooftop, undo all the rails off the bottom. I don't recommend doing that because these will be different. It'll void your warranty for the rooftop, blah, blah. I was like, oh, that's a waste of money for an Uber. Be nice if they stated that in their terms and conditions, that they're pretty much only made for Rhino Rack rooftops, that Rhino Rack rooftop assembly kit from Rhino Rack. Anyway, guys, the rooftop's on. It looks mint, like it is higher than a normal rooftop tent for sure, but you got to remember this is a king size. So if you're a family, if you're a husband and wife with 2 kids, or a family of 4, like seriously, this is an awesome rooftop because you can just, all 4 of you can sleep in it, but you can sleep 2 adults, 2 kids, no problems at all. That's if you want to sleep in the same bed as the kids because they're annoying. All right, next stop was at Tidal Trailers in Capella Bar to see Aaron. Now, Aaron had the great job of trying to build this toy hauler for Clint in 2 weeks. Now, last time I seen dimes like this was when I was up in Ingham with the Big B himself. But anyway, this was a couple of days and he had all this knocked out already. This thing has to house a 4.8 metre boat with a 140 Suzuki on the back, a quad, a dirt bike, rooftop, all the electrical equipment, 300 litres of water, and a couple of other things that I can't even bloody remember. But so far, so good. Azza was killing it. There's the suspension. And then it was time to go to Icon Trimming because this is the heart and soul. That is the cover that's going to turn our boat into a caravan. Now, I've got some quotes from a few different companies. Scott from Icon Trimming came out that afternoon, gave me a fair price, so away we went. So I come in here, he gave me a few choices of colours and mesh for the windows. Now, I had 2 types that I could choose from. One is your normal rooftop sort of tent stuff, which can let midgies through, and the other was this one here, which is actual midgie proof. Doesn't let as much breeze through, but is a lot hardier and will last a lot longer. So this is the one that we're going. It's also something that people can't see through. In no time, Macca had it all templated, called me back up, I come up to have a look, ran through a couple of different methods which we could do it. Now, we could either go inside the cabin the whole way, so there's no press studs on the outside, but it was channeling the water, as you can see, into the corner here. So we went with another method, which you'll see later. Half of it's on the inside, half of it's on the outside. And after looking at the finished product, the press studs don't really look too bad at all. But yeah, I was pretty stoked. Macca let us come up and watch various parts because I have no idea how these trimmers do this. Seriously, what they do is amazing. It's actually a trade I would have really liked to get into when I was younger. And Sarah, she's quite a good sewer herself, so she found it super interesting also. But look at that, just like that, we have a window.
One down, one to go.
Just like that, we have a window. Look at that.
Yeah.
Alrighty, I'm on my way down to EC Off-Road now because I called Kale the other day. I said, mate, I'm towing my family and our boat a long bloody way soon, over 13,000 kilometres in the 200. What do I need? What should I do? What has to be like checked? So he said the suspension I've got in it should be okay. It's Outback Armour. It's about 4 years old in there now, but they're going to have a look at that. The airbags, the boys here at EC installed about 12 months ago, so they're still fine. He said a lock-up kit. So a lock-up kit, especially for 200 series, is necessary. You know, just to get there, we're doing nearly 6,000 kilometres towing 3 ton plus our gear and all that. So anyway, they're going to do that. A lock-up kit is, it plugs into the electrical part of your transmission, right, and makes your transmission run at a cooler temp. It'll hold gears for longer and basically just makes your transmission run nice and cool, and apparently you use a lot less fuel. So I'm pulling up here now. The boys are going to install that. I'll run through a little bit about that, but we can touch base more on it when we're on our travels. All right, whenever we need something done on our four-wheel drive, it's EC Off-Road. EC is a bit of a family household name now when it comes to four-wheel driving in American trucks, but in this case, I didn't even know that they did lock-up kits. So I took it down, Leo hooked straight in. It was actually, well, what I thought was quite easy, still something I wouldn't want to attempt, but in no time they had the lock-up kit fully installed, and I'll let you know a little bit more about that later. Hey guys, rightio, so I've just had the call up from Macca from Icon Trimming. He said the boat's ready to be picked up. I am so excited to see it. I've seen a little sneak peek of it 3/4 done the other day. I haven't seen it fully done, and it just looks absolutely perfect, exactly what I was thinking. He is done, and it's awesome. We haven't gone over the top and just gone all out. We've wanted it nice, quick to install. It took him 2 minutes and 13 seconds to put on. He timed it the other day and sent me a thing. So it's easy as to put on, even quicker to take off. I can drive it on the highway. It's just going to stay on the boat unless we're going out fishing. So it's absolutely perfect, and I'll show you through it soon. The lockup kit that I had from EC, I haven't done anything on it as yet because I wanted to make sure and see exactly what it does. You can't notice a hell of a lot when you're just driving normal. You can set all your parameters, and you can choose what gear you want it to lock up in and what speed you want it to lock up at. So I've got it in 4th gear, 70 kilometers an hour, and you can just feel it go bonk. And on my phone here, I've got a diagnostics readout now. It tells me it's like scans all the codes. If it throws any codes, it's got a 4x4 mode, so it basically just holds your gears for a lot longer. It's a lot healthier for your transmission oil and keeps it a lot cooler. And it's got all your temps on there and everything like that too, so it's pretty good. So I'm actually going to see exactly what it's like when I've got the boat on soon, because I couldn't really notice too much when I'm just driving normal. I spoke to the boys and they said, no, you'll notice it when you're towing. So we're a couple of minutes from Icon Trimming to get the boat, and then we fully start to get packing for this trip. Hey guys, we're back at the warehouse now. I didn't do any filming there with Macca. He's a bit of the hard work and silent type. I hate talking in front of the camera as well, especially when I'm around people. So I brought it back to the warehouse. This is going to be our Caravan now. It is starting to look like a Caravan. To say I'm happy with the job that he's done on this boat cover is an understatement, honestly. I'll run through it with you. I didn't want anything super fancy. I didn't want to make big aluminium roof and have clears come down because you can't drive with them on it. I want to be able to drive 100, 110 kilometers an hour and this stay on there, all right? I don't have to pull it off and put it on every single day, and he's nailed it. It's very hard to get a boat as dust-proof as you can and as waterproof as you can. So I'm going to show you how good of a job he's done. I reckon you'd be amazed as well. So let's run through it, and then I'll quickly take it down and I'll put it back up and show you how easy it is, but I'll do a little time lapse for that. It takes about 2 minutes and 19 to put it on, and takes a lot less than that to pull it off, but let's run through it and show you. All right, so here she is. These little, like what look like loose bits there, they actually look way worse in the camera, because when you see this, it's like a friggin' trampoline. So
look at that. I'm really happy with how that's come up. So underneath here, Mac has put, I'll pull this one off and I'll show you. It's all Velcro, or I mean, it's all soft wool, so for rubbing, so it won't take any paint or anything like that off. And I was worried about the push studs on the side of the boat. I love my boat and I didn't want them to stand out, but when you're a metre away, you can't even see them. I'll show you that soon. He has used true midgie mesh. This stuff midgies cannot get through. You as a person cannot see through it even from here, but inside you can see out perfectly. I'll show you that as well. So let's jump up and I'll show you how we get in and out, because this has been by far the most asked question. Who's doing your cover? What cover he is getting? And that's what I'm going to show you now. I'm so happy with it. It's now starting to feel like a caravan, and it is very roomy inside, and I now 100% know that for 5 weeks we will be able to live out of this thing, no problems at all. Let's go in. All right, all we do, undo a bungee, another bungee, another bungee. We come up here. You can even see how tight he has woven this. Look at this, all around this edge. Look at that. He even put a nice little cover flap here. So he put the bit on there that you pull off. Then he's got another little flap that goes there, unclips. I get to my zipper. Welcome to our humble abode. How good's this, man? There is heaps of, they may not seem it in a camera, I know, but there is heaps of room. Like, our double bed only takes up that much there. So you can see how much room. We've got the chairs to spin around if we want to do anything. So all we have to do, if we want to unload some stuff from the side, is unclip these 4 press studs on the side, and then this will roll back and we can load stuff. We got the whole side that's open. So what I'll do now is, this, you can see out of that so well, and it is proper midgie mesh, so it's very strong. Up here, so along here, he's bolted on with real small bolts, aluminium track that the sail track slides into up here, and then he's Sikaflexed all behind it. He's Tef gelled every single screw and every single rivet and every single press stud that's gone through the hull. And even up here, look at this, because there would have been this tiny little gap there, and I didn't want him to run it all the way through because the sail track would look funny hanging out. So then all you do is just, once you've got this up, you just slip that behind there, and it is fully 100% waterproof. Same with over this side here, you can see there, he's covered that right up. And then we've gone with another window over here. So yeah, in the morning, wake up, staring out the water, grab my zip, and that's us. Everything has been reinforced. So all this has been reinforced on both sides. All this, look how nice and tight he's got it. And then this little gap here, you can't even get any dust up in there because it seals the whole way. It pushes on the side the whole way where that felt was, like I said before. Nothing is ever going to be 100% dust proof. Even caravans, you've got to pop an internal thing and reverse pressurize it. And nothing, you know, obviously on boats and covers, like, it's very, very hard to get everything 100% waterproof. So honestly, I think we will be able to get a big downpour on this and we won't get any water in. You can see how nice and tight he's got it, like, you know, like, because if you went much tighter, you're not going to be able to get those press studs on. So come through here, I'll zip this up. What I'll do is I'll whack a little time lapse up of me pulling it off and putting it back on, because it doesn't take long at all. And I want to get some practice. That was way too quick for any time lapse. Literally took me not even a minute, maybe like 45 seconds. So it'll take a little bit longer to set it up. I actually won't even time lapse it to set it up. I'll actually show you, because a lot of other fellas you see on YouTube and that, they'll be setting something up and it'll flick to the other thing and they'll be, oh, that was easy, like 5 minutes, and it's more like 15 or 20 minute pain in the butt setup. So I'm going to run through this actual with you so you can see. If you're bored, you can fast forward it, but I'll run through it and you can see exactly how long this is. And like, these are a no-brainer, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know why I didn't get a boat cover sooner. I've never had a proper one before, and now I do. So rain is not an issue. But anyway, let's flick through this, see how long it takes. All right, I've not set this up before. This is my first time. Macca gave me a quick run through, but that's it. So let's have a look. I'm just going to cruise it through and see how long it takes. It's 10 seconds now. Let's go up. See how long it takes me to put him up, eh? Then put the sail track over. Sail track goes in here. And if you had two people, it'd be way quicker. Whoops, what have I done here? Oh, that little ear was stuck there. There we go. Sweet. Walk this over the back, he said. Then he said do the back bits up. So, assuming maybe that one. That one. And this one. Then work my way along the outside. Flop that back. Man, this is a piece of cake. There you go. Put the three outside the cabin on there. I feel like I've forgotten something. 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is actually a piece of cake. I hope I'm doing this bit all right. Top one, second, third, fourth, fifth. Come on the outside. I'm not rushing either, but if it'd be done now if there was two of yous, easy, 100% done. So I don't know whatever that time is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, here you go, hang on. I'll fully do it. It's already on. It's nice and sealed there. Ta-da! How long was that? 3 minutes and 15 seconds by myself. You got to be pretty bloody happy with that. Alrighty, so there you go, guys. We're going to be living out of this for 5 weeks. We're going to do it up all nice and comfy. 4 of us will be sleeping in there. 2 of the kids will be sleeping on the rooftop. And this is the game changer for us because we're going to have a big boat wherever we go now. We're going to be able to go right out to the reef, the Buccaneers, out looking at whale sharks off Exmouth and stuff like that. I really think this is going to change the way some people travel. They might do it in one of those big trucks with one of the little caravan-y sort of things off the back, but I reckon towing a bigger boat is going to be a way of the future because there's just too much that you're missing out on without a big boat. And most of the barrier you can catch as well off the bank in some of these cool places. So anyway, that's it. I want to say a massive thank you to Macca from Icon Trimming. Guys, I'm going to put his details here. I got a couple of quotes. He quoted me up straight away. He came out, he measured it up. We had a beer, had a laugh. We know some of the same people when we were skateboarding and stuff when we were younger. And he just did such a good job. And honestly, these days, I feel like 8 out of 10 times you're almost disappointed sometimes when you pay for something. And, you know, there's always some niggling problem or it runs late or something goes wrong. I had no such dealings with Macca. He was really good. So if you are looking for a good trimmer, Icon Trimming in Capella, Macca, you're a bloody legend. Our next thing we have to do is put this Camp Boss, Nudie Boss shower. Quickest shower in the West, Jace reckons. And from what he showed me, it bloody is. But I'm going to whack it up here. I get a friend of mine, we're going to put a bracket here and this is where the shower is going to go and it's going to fold out because it's away from the car then. I would prefer to have it on the car, but you're going to shower every night or most nights with it and there's going to be water right where you go to the car to get stuff out and that all the time. If it's on the trailer holds 110 litres and all the water is out, I can connect it straight up into the shower. So that's it. It's getting to the pointy end. We leave in like just over a week and I've got a lot to do. So anyway, Macca, you're a bloody legend. If you want a great marine trimmer, Icon Trimming. All right, it was back up tidal trailers to depress the toy hauler. Now Aaron had it flipped over, all braced underneath, the heat more strengthening through it and was starting to look like a weapon. Fast forward a few days, the Camp Boss rooftop had turned up, all the solar was put on top. I think it's about 300 watts from what Clint said, and we were getting real close to having it finished. Have a look at this, 2.5 weeks to smash out this massive toy hauler, which is 9.5 metres long and weighs nearly 4 tonne. Spare springs, fully flat bar strengthened chassis. You got the winch here to crank it up if you're in a bit of a rush. All the brakes were hooked up, Camp Boss shower tents on there, King wheels with a fold down tyre at the front where you can snig it out of a bog, and all the Revolution power gear that you could ever want. How good is this? 2.5 bloody weeks. This is just the icing on the cake. They went the Ultra X Camp Boss rooftop, same as the one we've got on the 80. Mate, this thing is unreal. If you're keen to see this toy hauler fully finished with all the toys on it, and watch this series. Guys, so one of them is building this table. So the table's going to go along the back there. Now the table is sort of a pretty important part of it because that's going to allow me to take this big esky, which is a lot more storage. We can fit a few fish in there. We can put all our stuff in. When we're not using the car and we're out in the boat, I can put the esky in here. The table will go in the car and then the table elevates the esky off the floor, so we're using less real estate on the floor, and our feet will slide under it, and the esky, we're not going to have to climb over it all the time for 5 weeks. So I want to take the big esky. I know it seems big, but I want to take it. Also, the table will disconnect off the inside side pocket, and we're designing it so it goes over the drawbar on the trailer, and it's a big table that we can do all our cooking and stuff on when we're staying places more than one night. Now the big legend here, Gummy Bear. His name's Hendrik, but he likes to be called Gummy Bear because he's short, fat and delicious, he says. He's a bloody legend. He's building the trailer for me now over here, so we'll go and have a look. All right, here's the table so far. How thick's the alley, mate?
5 mil.
5 mil. So we've got a 140 litre esky going on it. We're packing it full of gear, so it's nice and strong. Gummy Bear's cutting these. So that's 50 mil. He's got some 40 mil legs that are going to slide up inside there. We'll show you that at the end because the legs are going to be extendable. You'll understand when I show you more, but that's awesome. With the Camp Boss shower tent, we've come up with a bit of a different plan. Dad was down here on the weekend when I was doing the bearings, and we come up with a bit of a different plan. So, oh, what, you kidding me? I went and got high tensile bolts instead of stainless ones because the stainless ones are that expensive it's not funny, and they don't fit in the thing. So I'm going to have to grind them down a little bit. Just 1 second. All right, scrap that. They actually do fit in. You just have to force them in a bit. We're back underway. Anyway, I'm just going to fit this up here. I got these come with the rooftop, the Camp Boss rooftop, and they're like got a hard sort of plastic coating on the outside. I was going to put rubber between it, but what I'm going to do is just put that on the back of the pole, try and crank them up into these. I'm just going to see how sturdy it is, because I can put a locking nut on the back of that. There's no reason why it shouldn't work. Instead of getting a big plate welded up and stuff, we'll just see how this goes first. All right, so go up here, that's upside down. Why am I doing it from down here for when I've got a ladder? Ah! Oh. Things are always easier with two people, eh? I actually think this is going to work mint. Just have to crank these four up. I think it'll be solid as. All right, I was just working on the shower tent here. Gummy Bears, come down, have a look. Show us this, mate. This is the legs for the table. Look how nice. So that's the extension, what's going to extend it from the height of the side pocket to be able to sit off here nice and level when we use it as a camping table. So that's awesome. Did that fit perfect? You had to mill it down a litle bit.
No, I just milled it down a bit, 0.2 on each side.
How good's that? Hey?
Perfect.
Not just a pretty face.
Short, fat and delicious.
Sweet, thanks mate.
All right.
Here we go, 90% finished. All I've got to do is just trim off the bolts here and we're done. And to me, it feels super strong. The only thing that could sort of possibly break is the handrail, but there's no bloody way that's going to break. It's welded down here. George has welded it here. It's up there, and then this whole bar's braced to the box, and the bottom, like, it's going nowhere. One thing I did do a boo-boo on, but I cranked these up too much, this back nut, and because it's not designed to be mounted with these are for a rooftop, and it's left a bit of an angle here. It's actually, when I've cranked it right up, it's ripped the bolt head through the aluminium here. So anyway, it's all good. So I just put a locking nut, used a nylock nut for the locking nut, fold this thing out and see what it's like. I've actually never folded one out before, so. Alrighty, it's good. I like how Camp Boss put these pockets on the ends to tuck your zips up into. Okay. The rooftop is the same. This is probably going to still have plastic on it, does it? No. There we go. Notice I did it to a height that I can actually reach. There. There. Hey. Now what? Mate. That's done. I probably could have mounted it up a bit higher, only because it's just touching the ground there. Oh, hang on, no, I can do this. I'll tighten it up on that. Oh, how good's that? Okay, so it doesn't quite matter if you haven't got it perfect, because you can adjust it with those top things, but obviously they're not meant to be mounted onto handrails on the front of boat trailers. And that handrail it isn't level, it's kicked out like that on purpose so you can walk through the step. So obviously that's why the roof top's on a slant, but I'll adjust these up and it should actually be perfect. All right, I've just done a few adjustments. She's good to go, mate. That's fine. That's awesome, actually. Definitely doesn't take long to set up. Probably about, honestly, 20 seconds. You just unzip it, it pops out on hydraulic arms. I'll show you. Well, it's hard to see. There's hydraulic arms here that just push the shower tent out. All right. I had to show you. Look. This is actually legit. It's awesome. I'll put the lights on. Look, here we go. It's as easy as that. There's your button. Turns it off. Turns it on. You've got a dimmer, so that'll dim it. Make it brighter. It is plenty bright in here. All right, so happy days. You got all your pockets for your stuff. A Nudie Boss 2.0 by Camp Boss. All I did for power is just got a little charging bank. I just sat it there for now, but I'll figure out something better. Mate, that's another one off the list. All right, it says you just joined me. I'm not too sure what happened to the audio at this bit, but basically says he's just in there packing all the kids' clothes into this thing we got off, I don't even know, I think it's Amazon, but basically it's our wardrobe. It'll have 5 shelves, so that's all of us except Sarah, and then Sarah will just bring a duffel bag and sit it on top. We just want everything out of the way. All right, I wasn't going to film this part, but I will just quickly because it's an interesting subject, and that's Starlink, alrighty? So we've got Starlink Mini. It seems to work out in the boat, even though it says you need the roaming, the marine one, if you're more than 11 kilometers offshore or something. Like, we used it out at the reef, and it worked awesome. So what I'm going to do is, we got a couple of like cheaper Starlink mounts. I'm going to put up the top here, and then I'm going to run the cable down into a Siggy plug. I'll just show you really quick what I do, because Starlink is, well, for us, people, you know, we do YouTube videos for a living. It's sort of a bit of a necessity now, eh? Like, it makes it a lot easier to upload on the run. So that's what we're going to do. So I'll show you exactly what we're going to do here. All right, contrary to what I've seen on a lot of videos, you can run Starlink Mini, which is this little awesome device here, off a Siggy plug, righty? I believe you do have to buy the correct one. It's got to be 100 watts. So that is one thing you have to do, because the wire is a little bit thicker on this one. So we got this off like Caravan RV site or something. But anyway, that just plugs into the back with a little thing there, and that's it. And then I've got this universal mount. Sarah got it off the internet. So it's just a little ball joint one, and it's actually pretty high grade, like aluminium or something. It's all steel, and I'm going to clamp it onto the roof along the stainless rails, and then when we're in the boat and when we're in the car, I'll literally just sit it in front of the windscreen. I'll show you, but it's going to work mid. So I'm just going to wire this in. But that's an easy little thing for Starlink. You don't need an inverter or anything like that to run them now. We thought that you did. You can just run it off this. For how much you pay for Nava gear, so this is just a Siggy plug and a USB. They don't even give you screws. Nava includes some screws, mate. Hang on. It might be me being dumb once again. Look, I believe there is screws inside the Siggy plug, but I cannot get them out. So well done, Nava. Thank you for including some screws, and I apologise. So turns out I bought the wrong one. This obviously is designed to go on something like that and have the wires come out the back. So I've just had to modify it. But that is a nightmare to do, man. It's a nightmare. I'm sure one of you smarter people will let me know an easier way I should have done that, but rightio, done. Another job finished. It's not the prettiest, but it'll do. That's him just here. Cut a bit of split tubing. I'll tidy it up when we get home, but that's going to do. So the kids can charge some of their stuff on there or whatever. There's a USB, and then there's a Siggy plug for the Starlink. That was actually a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. Putting all the wires in those back forks, far out. All right, just quickly, there's the Starlink. There's the mount. May not look like much, but it's sturdy as. Like, even if I get it here and if I wiggle it down here, it's real sturdy. So the only movement is in the actual Starlink where it clicks in. That's the only movement there. But yeah, other than that, it'll be fine. The wind anyway will come up there, hit that overhang, and there's not going to be too much wind that gets up to the back there. So, and if it doesn't make it, we just have to buy another Starlink Mini. Alrighty-o, back over to the table, and it was coming along nicely. The esky brought over so we could size it up and just put these corners on. Gummy Bear welded them in place, and it was nice and easy actually. Gave them about 5mm gap all the way around, so there's just a bit of wiggle room to get it out. Whacking on the legs, getting them all nice and square, and then sand it up.
Aye.
I said I better do something to help you.
Yep. A beautiful table for Adam.
First time I've done this on a table and not a boat.
Happy days.
After Gummy Bear welded it up, it started fouling just the tiniest little bit, the bit that slides inside the other leg. So how's this machine? And this is what Gummy Bear actually specialises in. So this machine, I don't even know what it's called. It's way out of my pay grade, but it measures like 1,000th of a mil or something ridiculous like that. And it will tell you exactly where the most minuscule bow or anything needs to be taken off this bit of aluminium. It will also get it like perfectly level. So then it can go into this machine. This is the milling machine, and he's taken off like 0.2 of a mil. 0.2 of a mil, dead set. But that creates it to slide through the outer bit of aluminium like this. Mill perfect, mate, mill perfect. Now, we were just tidying it up and then dry fitting it on the side of the trailer while it was hitched up to the car so we could get an exact height. And tell you what, it couldn't actually be any more perfect the way that it sits. So this is how we're going to have it while we're camping, when we're there for more than one night. So here's a second coat of Alushine, I think it's called, just aluminium acid, and I do 2 coats on it and mix it like 1 in 3, whatever it's called, and then I just spray it on, leave it 5 minutes, hose it off. I got to give a massive rap to Gummy Bear for helping me out with this table, especially on such short notice. This is what he actually specialises in, guys. He's a fitter and turner, and he does all sorts of hydraulics repairs, bucket reskins, teeth, repairing buckets, working on all sorts of trucks and machinery. He's very old school. Like, I found it super fascinating just looking at this machinery, let alone being able to operate it and operate it like he does. He actually makes this sort of stuff out of billet. Like, how is that even possible? This is a man you want to come see for all your hydraulics, isn't it?
That's it.
Hey, get in here. Ready, Bay?
Yep.
Southeast Queensland, not mobile at the moment.
No.
Like, bring your stuff in here, gets repaired properly, just as you've seen with all this gear here. So I'll put Gummy Bear's number and contacts here, and then you can take it from there, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Sweet.
Happy days.
Done.
Thanks, boys.
Hey guys, all right, so the table's done. I acid washed it all. I've put some felt around the outside just so it can't scratch anywhere on the boat or anything. I'll show you what this was for. You're probably thinking, what the hell is he making a table for? So this is what it's going to do. It's going to house this big ass 140 litre esky, alrighty, and those legs are extendable and it'll go on the outside of the trailer like I showed you before, and that's going to be our table for cooking and filleting and eating and stuff like that when we're staying places more than one night. So it's a big table, all of us can eat at it. It's very functional, and then it's off the ground. So our boat, our mattress, geez, it's been a long day, goes under that. There's enough room for our feet and everything to go, and it's still messy, but it keeps the esky off the floor here because that's where it would have to be, and I ain't jumping over that for 5 weeks. So it's a multi-function thing. Now I can just walk in, walk through, you know, get to the fridge, our bed's right there, esky's off the ground. Then when we go fishing overnight, this goes in the car, this goes on the floor, this gets rolled up on the roof, all the carpet gets thrown out into the car, and then we've got a big esky to keep some fish in, keep beers in, all our food stays in the fridge, and yeah, I just reckon it's a good idea. I've got a spare area on the side for some jerry cans and whatever we need. It's a pretty big area, that, like, that's my shoe on there, so it's a big area. Fit 2 jerrys for sure. And then this whole thing is storage for tools, Milwaukee tools, my King Chrome stuff, our barbecue, like our fire pit from Outback Equipment. So yeah, I reckon that was well worth it. Mate, that's it. You know what? I'm done. It is Friday. It is Thursday afternoon, about 5 o'clock. We have been non-stop for 3.5 weeks now, and I feel a little bit worn out. But I've still got to go up and edit the rest of this video so I have it live for you guys in time. But we leave, tomorrow's Friday, we leave Saturday, so we've got one more day and we got heaps of packing to do. I've got to go through all fishing gear. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to leave you there. I've done my best to take you along with us and show you how we are prepping for this trip. Mainly so when you're watching it, and hopefully you watch it, you understand what's going on, why we've done stuff, and maybe you got a few ideas from it as well. But guys, I really hope you follow us along on this adventure. Hey, this is a different one. I've never done anything like this. You know, there's 6 of us in a boat and a car, traveling for quite a while over the other side of the country, fishing, crabbing, cooking, and camping in some of the most literally epic and remote places in Australia. Alrighty, so hopefully you watch along, hopefully you enjoy it. Next time you see us, we're going to be on the road, heading 10 hours for the first 3 days. I mean 10 hours each, 3 days in a row, so 30 hours in 3 days, and then we should be in the Northern Territory. Alright, see you next week, guys, when the car's going to be on the road, heading west. I want to give a huge shout out to our legendary Patreons and your continued support. It means more to us than you'll ever know.
I also want to say a massive thank you to our legendary sponsors and your continued support to keep Out of Line cracking along. See you next week, legends.